Veritas. SCP Files. Episode 40 Exposé.
Initial incident report regarding the attack of the group of interest known as the Chaos Insurgency on Site 2024. Officer Seth Orson, Head of Security, reporting. At 2:04 p.m. this afternoon, October 9th, the site's raid alarm sounded, signaling an active attack. Casualty reports are still coming in, and
it is a lot on everyone involved. Look around you, Seth. Everyone is half dead. We need rest.
Damien is still out there. Until he's found, nobody's safe. And nobody is leaving.
So explain to me why you are in here interrogating us rather than out there searching for him.
My teams have the entire site and its surrounding areas gridded. They are being thoroughly searched. Besides the two of us, the people in this room were the ones who interacted most with Damien during the raid. That's why I'm here. This interview is necessary. It is not an interrogation.
Interview? Well, that's a laugh. Call it what it is. We're trapped here while you scrutinize our every choice over the past day, all while exhausted and ready to collapse.
That's quite a hostile tone to be taking. Aren't you concerned by Damien's disappearance?
Extremely. But my people are exhausted. They've survived quite a significant ordeal and they need rest. I also don't appreciate the specific targeting of the ethics department. Your people came into contact with the insurgency too.
Yes. While battling them to prevent them from snatching anomalies and harming the innocent. Security's authority outweighs ethics here. Your people are not being targeted. They're the ones with the most information. Care to explain why that is, Miranda?
Because we were the least protected, Seth. You bulked up security around the containment and testing areas, and around the main entrances and exits. Even around your own hub. But the ethics offices were left out in the open as easy targets. It is your department's incompetency to blame here.
It is my department that saved the site. I was on the front battling the insurgents, a not insignificant chunk of whom were our own staff that he'd somehow corrupted. If we hadn't acted quickly, if I hadn't prepared my team so effectively, they would have slaughtered everyone. Since you're so eager to throw blame around and then leave, why don't you start the report?
Fine.
Report of Dr. Miranda Sterling, Head of Ethics.
There's really not much to say. Ever since you started sounding those ear-splitting alarms, I've been working from home to prevent a constant pounding migraine. When I got the alert that there was an active alarm today and no drills scheduled, I drove out here as quickly as I could. By the time I arrived, all I saw was the aftermath.
What did you see during your approach?
What, are you expecting me to tell you that I saw Damien fleeing the scene? Think I can point out exactly which way he went? No. I didn't even see any damage to the building. No broken locks, no busted windows, No gaping holes exploded into the brick. But the gate guards were dead, and none of them had drawn weapons. Someone here let them in. Someone who they knew and trusted.
We're investigating that.
Are you? Seems to me like you're wasting time harassing my staff.
What did you find upon entering the building?
I found Scott in the office, flipping through SCP-6499 with an eerie calm. I closed it, popped it back in the box it must have come in, and have been here helping him through his recovery ever since.
That's all you saw. Nothing else.
The light was shot out, and there appeared to have been a scuffle.
And
I deduced that something was wrong. What exactly are you trying to get me to say? I came in after it was over. Scott was completely zoned out with SCP-6499. I stopped to help.
I see. Fine. Let's hear from him then. Report of Scott Anderson, Level 3 Ethics Officer.
Let me think. I'm trying to... It's hard to focus.
Didn't you hear what I just said? SCP-6499, the Remain Calm book.
Yes, Doctor. I heard you.
It messes with the memory. You know that. His report will be of no use to you.
It's Scott's turn to report now, Doctor. You had your chance to talk. Be quiet. What did you see, Scott? What do you remember?
Well, I remember Mary, Officer Parker, coming into my office. I hadn't been feeling well, and I almost turned him away immediately when he said he wanted to make a report. But then he mentioned he'd been ordered here. Someone from the O4 had ordered him to make a report about SCP-010. I couldn't refuse after that. Orders from an O4. We all know what happens when you disobey. So, I started the recording, and he spoke. I don't want to go over what exactly was said. It's all on the recording, the one you took for evidence.
Yes, I've listened to it.
Well, then you know as well as I do that Damien had nothing to do with it.
What do you recall happening after Officer Parker finished his report?
I remember feeling better. I'm not sure why. I was really concerned for his well-being. It was an unpleasant memory for him to relive, and I just wanted to support him afterwards.
Yes, and then what?
And then... nothing.
Nothing at all.
No. The next thing I recall is Miranda standing over me. She looked very concerned, said something about a book? I don't know. She filled me in on the attack, but I'm afraid I don't remember anything about it myself. I'm sorry. I know that isn't helpful.
You truly don't remember anything else. Rack your brain. There must be something else. What happened next?
Seth, please, I just don't remember. I'm trying.
I've already told you that.
Shut up, Officer Sterling. It's not your turn to speak.
Up. Allow me to clarify once and for all. SCP-6499 activates when a singular reader is in imminent danger. It prevents any and all harm from occurring to that person, and then it wipes the memory of the crisis in order to prevent psychological harm as well. Scott truly cannot remember anything from the crisis. It is pointless to ask him anything further.
It isn't your turn to talk either. You don't get to dictate how this goes, Niall. Wait your turn.
Oh, don't you want to hear my version of the report? Strange. You'd think you'd want to hear from the one who spent the most time with Damien.
No, not yet. I want a full account from everyone else first. That way, there won't be any lies left for you to hide in. Now shut the hell up. Good. Now let's hear from Officer Parker. Report of Meriwether Parker, Level 3 Ethics Officer.
My official title is the Ethical Standards Specialist for new SCPs.
Don't care. What happened this afternoon after your report to Scott?
You already heard the tapes.
Tapes? Plural? There's more than one.
Yes? The one from Scott, and the one Niall made on his portable recorder when he found us.
Niall,
Mm-hmm.
is it true that there is a second tape?
There was one, yes. Destroyed in the attack, however.
Convenient. Mary, can you confirm that?
It's fine, Mary. You can speak the truth.
No, I can't confirm that, Seth.
I see.
If you only heard the first tape, then you only heard Damien's entrance. He caught us quite unaware, blocking our exit into the hall. The alarm hadn't yet sounded, so I knew something was wrong. They weren't fighting their way inside, they were already inside. Damien started asking us questions, me and Scott. Given Damien's history with Niall, I was pretty sure he was after me, so I tried to keep his focus in order to protect Scott. Niall came by after only a few minutes, and Damien tried again to recruit him, this time using me as collateral. He grabbed me by the throat, threatened to kill me if Niall didn't obey. You could still see the bruises.
Yes.
He wanted Niall to prove his loyalty by shooting Scott. Instead, Niall shot out a ceiling light in one smooth motion, plunging us into darkness just long enough for me to break free and run.
You left Scott and Niall behind?
Niall had a gun, and I trusted he wouldn't have come without a plan. Besides, I knew the alarm hadn't gone off yet. I hated leaving, but I thought it was the only way to protect Scott and alert everyone. Nobody even knew the insurgency was inside the site. You know the rest. I ran into your office and had you pull the alarm. I told you exactly what had happened, and we were gearing up to march our way back to the office to confront Damien, when the reports started coming in from around the facility. Attacks from the inside, all at once. Insurgents poured out from closets, vents, places we never even thought to check. And our own people turned on each other, on their friends and coworkers. The site erupted into chaos.
I remember that. But I lost sight of you during our response. Where did you go after that?
While you marched your security teams towards the insurgents and engaged them, I stayed to help the survivors. People were panicking, fleeing in all directions, and I didn't want them running into danger. I rounded up everyone I could find and brought them back to your office. I figured it was the safest place for them to be. People didn't just magically appear in your office, I brought them there.
I wish, just once, that you would stay put and not put yourself in danger.
Like you did?
Touché. I'd still rather take the risks myself than let you face them.
That makes two of us then.
You're so eager to speak, Niall. Fine. Let's hear from you then. Report of Niall Connors, Level 4 Ethics Officer.
After Mary fled, I had Scott open and read from SCP-6499 in order to protect himself. I wasn't about to let him stay in danger or be taken by the insurgency for his knowledge of the incident reports he's been reading. Damien, seeing that he had lost his hostages and that I still held my weapon, began to panic. I don't think he had expected us to actually be able to turn the tables on him, though. I tried to negotiate with him, to figure out what exactly he'd come for, why he had gone to such lengths to attack the site. But he was too clever to get any useful information out of. Realizing that he'd lost his leverage, he pushed one of the desks towards me, and I had to scramble out of the way, giving him an opportunity to make a break for the door. I tried to shoot at him to stop him, but I'm not exactly a field agent. Between the darkness from the shot-out light and him moving so fast with his augmentations, I think I only hit him with 2 or 3 bullets. Pretty sure I completely missed the others, and the office should have the holes to prove it. By the time I'd gotten to my feet and ran to the door, he'd vanished down the hallway. That's when I realized my recorder had been damaged in the scuffle. I didn't have time to worry about it then. I just tried to keep up, to find him again. Not sure what I'd planned to do, honestly, as I was out of ammo. But I wasn't thinking of that, only of catching him, of protecting the site. As I followed, insurgents started appearing in the holes, and the distant screaming and gunfire drew closer. My brain caught up to my feet at last, and I realized I wouldn't be able to catch him on my own with the site going to hell and no weapon to speak of. I decided the best thing to do was to make my way to the security hub.
So, you just gave up and walked away?
Look, I know it's not the heroic ending you wanted, Seth. But when there are insurgents inside the site, and I don't have backup, I had to think strategically. By the time I'd gotten back to the hub, I found it full of the people Mary had rescued, and found security had more than succeeded in containing the situation.
And you have no idea where Damien went?
Sorry?
And the security cams in the halls in the ethics office?
What about them?
The footage has been wiped.
Well, if I had to guess, Damien must have known where they were. And they clearly knew exactly how they wanted this all to go. Wiping the footage would, logically, be one of the insurgency's first moves once they got inside.
Convenient, isn't it? All of it. So convenient. Tape destroyed, cameras wiped, no trace of Damien. Almost like someone didn't want us to see what really happened.
Surely you aren't accusing me? Why would I make myself an even bigger target by wiping the footage? And when would I even have time to do so? It's been only a few hours, and I've been here in this room for most of it.
Yes, you have been, but I'm not satisfied yet. Something's still missing. It's all far too convenient.
Come on now. You have what you're after. You have everyone's reports. Where's the harm in letting us go rest up?
Nobody leaves the site until the sweep is done.
Then let us go to the on-site bunks. There's no point in keeping us here any longer. It's simple cruelty at this point.
Fine. Go. I will send for you when the sweep is completed, or when I have further questions. Incident report ends.
The wayward officer returns. You look awful.
You always know what to say.
Oh, cheer up. It all went according to plan.
Yes. Thank you, by the way, for your good timing, for moving Damien, for covering it all up, for everything.
That's what I'm here for. How'd the interview go? Are they looking for me?
He doesn't even know you're around.
Oh.
You're disappointed.
Well, kinda thought I'd be famous. That's all.
Yeah, well, better that you aren't.
I suppose.
Oh. How is he?
He's alive and secured. He's not about to run. Not with the changes I've made to his body. Unless he can figure out how to run without legs. Or untie ropes without hands.
Good. You sent word of his capture to the O5?
Of course. I'm curious, though. Why is it that we're keeping it a secret from the rest of the site?
Do you really want a prisoner of war this valuable to be placed into Seth's hands?
Dunno. I don't really know the guy.
The answer is no. Trust me.
Well, he's not incompetent. The response to the raid was solid. I watched the drills beforehand, and I watched the team respond. They fought well. Really well. Almost effortlessly, I'd say. All the drills he ran, they were prepared and it showed. There was not a single survivor, and with the way the insurgents just sort of popped up from inside, that's quite impressive. I don't know if you realized it, but the insurgents came from within the researchers. Not a single security member was actually compromised.
I'm aware. But I also know how poorly Seth understands people. He prefers absolute loyalty and bending to his authority. I'd rather not have him questioning Damien. Especially not given our history.
Understandable.
The O5. What did they have to say about the other tapes I sent them?
Their reply was simply, "Watch your step."
I see. And about my request to keep him here?
They were willing to keep him hidden here on site, but they will be sending their own agents to question him as well. There was even a request that I stay around to guard him. Sounds dreadfully boring to me, but I suppose I can for a while? Depending on what he gives us, it might be entertaining. Who knows what we'll be able to learn from him?
Good. Glad he'll be sticking around. Damien, he actually made some good points. I'm glad I get the chance to talk to him further. He's not without his insights.
Want me to wake him up now?
Nah. I'm going to go take Mary out on a well-deserved date.
So, what do I do? Sit here in this hidden basement on prisoner watch duty, hoping the search teams don't accidentally stumble across it?
Yeah. They won't. The door isn't on any of the site blueprints, and it's invisible to anyone who doesn't know it's here. You should probably take away his voice box for the time being, though. Don't want him to start screaming and alert the search teams.
All right. Enjoy your date.
Thanks! Oh, here! I've found this to be a good source of entertainment while waiting alone in boring places. Careful with it. I'll want it back.
You're a recorder. Aw, thanks. You're the best.
Oh, I know. I know.
Vault Veritas SCP Files is a podcast inspired by the SCP Foundation. It is written and edited by Leola Angel. Season 1 featured Justin Gellner as Scott Anderson, D.R. Thompson as Niall Connors, Cody W. as Meriwether Parker, Mintaka Angel as Miranda Sterling, Ethan Feigl as Damien, Matthew Findison as Seth Orson, and Leola Angel as River Frey. This is the end of Season 1. Season 2 will be coming starting March 26th. Until then, we will be posting additional content on a bi-weekly basis. These will mostly consist of bonus episodes, so please stay tuned. We welcome comments. Please rate and review us. Email us at vaultveritas@gmail.com. Join our Discord channel using the link in the episode description. Visit us at Blue Sky, or for additional content, visit our Patreon. Thank you so much for listening.